Hey, what's going on, COD Mobile fans? My name is HawksNest, and currently you guys are watching the official Call of Duty Mobile channel. So I do want to give a massive shout out to COD Mobile for allowing me to be a part of the player content series. But in today's video, we are going to be talking about the brand new pistol secondary inside of the game. Now, of course, I am talking about the brand new .50 GS pistol inside of the game. Now, if you actually want to get your hands on this weapon, basically there's two different ways. The first way is to potentially get it inside of the dark side draw, which you can access by going to the main page and then pressing dark side draw on the left. Then once you're here, you can actually do one free draw to potentially get the .50 GS Calamity blueprint. But obviously, if you don't get this blueprint, there is a ton of other things you can get for, once again, totally free on your first draw. Then after that, you can spend CP to get more draws and then hopefully get the .50 GS Calamity. But if you don't want to get this weapon through the dark side draw, there is actually one other way you can get this weapon for totally free. To do this, all you have to do is back out of this page and go to the main page. Then once you're here, you want to go to events. Then you want to go to seasonal. Then once you're here, you want to go to the small arms section. And then basically you can see right here, we have the free .50 GS, which you can unlock by doing a series of challenges, which you can see outlined here by pressing the yellow arrows. And as you do these challenges, you'll actually gain different rewards all the way up until you do get the .50 GS for, once again, totally free. So now that you know how to get the weapon, let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit more in depth. First, let's go ahead and start with the damage profile of this gun. Now, from 0 to 11 meters, this weapon will be dealing 70 damage or 105 damage to the head, which means that from 0 to 11 meters, you can actually get a one-shot kill if you're able to land a headshot. Then from 11 to 26 meters, you're going to be dealing 55 damage to the body or 82.5 damage to the head. Then from 27 meters and beyond, you're going to be dealing 48 damage or 72 to the head. Although, do keep in mind, because this is a pistol, you probably shouldn't be using it from 27 meters and beyond. Now, what all of this means is that this weapon generally will be a two-shot kill unless you are able to hit that headshot from 0 to 11 meters, in which case, once again, you will be getting a one-shot kill, which, if you do have the lightweight trigger on this weapon, which essentially allows it to shoot a little bit faster, will give you time to kills that are comparable to most ARs and SMGs at close range. And then if you're able to hit both of your shots, even from 11 to 26 meters, you're going to be getting that exact same time to kill, which is actually very, very fast compared to most ARs and SMGs. Now, that was the damage profile of the 50 GS if you had no attachments, but now let's go ahead and talk about the damage profile if you do have the Akimbo perk, which does change it up a little bit. Basically, when you do have the Akimbo perk enabled, you're going to be given two 50 GSs, one in each hand, as opposed to just having one. Although the downside of this is two different things. Number one, you can't actually ADS with this, which means you're forced to hip fire. And number two, the damage of each of the weapons is slightly reduced, which we're going to go ahead and talk about right now. Now, once again, with the 50 GS, typically the damage profile will be 70 damage, 55 damage, and 48 damage. But when you do have the Akimbo perk enabled, the damage of each of the pistols is going to be reduced down to 60, 45, and 40. Now, this damage reduction isn't really that extreme, and do keep in mind that the damage that I just said will apply to both of the pistols. So when you do actually press the fire button, both of the pistols will fire at the exact same time, which means that you can actually get a one-shot kill to any part of the body with this weapon up to 11 meters. But once again, because you can't ADS, the shots will be very inaccurate. So for this weapon to actually be getting those one-shot kills, you're gonna have to be extremely, extremely close to someone. Otherwise, one of your bullets or maybe even both of the bullets will miss, and you're gonna have to fire the gun again, which obviously the more you have to fire your gun, the higher chance you actually have of dying. Now, because you're forced to hipfire with this weapon, I would recommend a class that is primarily focused on increasing your hipfire accuracy, which is basically going to make up of a MIP light flashguard, which once again will increase your hipfire accuracy, a MIP laser 5 milliwatt, which once again will increase your hipfire accuracy, and if you are curious, it does actually increase your hipfire accuracy more than the RTC laser. Although do keep in mind the lasers on the 5 milliwatt is going to be visible to enemies, so if you do want to go for a little bit more stealth, you could go with the RTC laser. Although because you are using this weapon at those extremely close ranges, most of the time visibility isn't a big deal because the enemies will more than likely see you anyway. Then apart from that, obviously we do have the Akimbo perk because that's what we're talking about right now. We have the lightweight trigger so that we can increase our fire rate to get more follow-up shots a little bit faster. Then we do have the extended mag A just to increase our magazine size a little bit without sacrificing too much movement speed or reload speed. Now, Akimbo is just one way that you can build this weapon. It is really fun to use, but do keep in mind once again that it's only really reliable up to about 4 or 7 meters. You can somewhat consistently hit those one-shot kills where both weapons fire at the same time and both shots connect up to about 4 meters, and then up to about 7 meters you can somewhat consistently hit those two-shot kills where both of the weapons fire twice. But after that, the hipfire inaccuracy is going to make it way too inconsistent to be taking fights. I would really only recommend using the Akimbo perk on this weapon if you are using this as a secondary weapon to supplement a weapon that is typically a little bit more mid to long range. That way you can use your primary weapon at those mid to long ranges, but when you do take a fight that's super close range inside of a building or a hardpoint or something like that, you can go ahead and bust out the Akimbo 50 GSs. But the next class that we're going to talk about is something that's meant to be a little bit more versatile and a little bit more consistent. Although you're not going to be hitting as many one-shot kills, you are going to be getting a lot more consistent two-shot kills. And that's going to be this class right here. Now let's go ahead and talk about the attachments a little bit more and explain exactly what the purpose of this class is. So the very first one is going to be the MIP Extended Light Barrel. Basically, we're increasing our ADS bullet spread accuracy and damage range, but sacrificing ADS speed. The purpose of this is just to allow the weapon to have a little bit more mid-range capability. Once again, we are sacrificing ADS speed, but that's not really a problem because we do have the stippled grip tape as well as the OWC Laser Tactical to supplement that ADS speed that we are losing. Although do keep in mind with the OWC Laser Tactical, people will be able to see your laser sight when you do ADS with this weapon, so typically you don't want to be pre-aiming corners and just looking at walls and stuff like that, because then enemy players will be able to see your laser sight and know where you are. So just save ADSing for when you do see an enemy player and you want to scope in onto them. Then after that, once again, we do have the lightweight trigger basically so we can just get a little bit faster follow-up shots. Then after that, we do have the extended mag A so that we can increase our magazine size from 7 to 10, just so that we do have a couple more rounds in the mag. So yeah, that is what I would consider to be the best versatile class with the .50 GS, but do keep in mind the whole point of a secondary weapon is to supplement your main weapon. So if you do have a primary weapon that has a very poor close quarter combat ability, I would recommend having the Akimbo 50 GS. But if you are using a weapon like a sniper that has extremely poor close range and even kind of close to mid range, then I would recommend using a setup like this that you can actually use at that close to mid range. So that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, definitely make sure to drop a like and a sub down below to the official Call of Duty mobile channel. And if you guys would like to check out my channel, it will be linked down below in the description. And one more time, a massive shout out to COD Mobile for allowing me to be a part of the player content series. And with all of that being said, I will see you guys later. Peace.